Rarely do you get in life, let alone in a career, the opportunity to revisit a piece of work that you did 40 years ago from a different perspective. It's been an amazing year for me to be Kunta Kinte and then come back 40 years later and be an executive producer on the remake. Not bad. Our daughter, Mika, who is 21, has never seen Roots beyond hour one. Because as soon as Kunta gets captured, she knows what happens next, and she's never wanted to see that happen to her father. Because Malachi is now playing the character, we're going to be able to watch Roots with our daughter. Now, she lives in Austin now. She just graduated from the University of Michigan and is working in her first job as a professional. So much the way she and her mom watch Scandal and Game of Thrones, we will be connected either by phone, Skype, somehow, but we're going to watch it together.
I'm not American at all, so this is no part of my cultural history. So I feel like there is a certain amount of, it's a privilege to be part of this kind of story and the retelling of it, and you obviously just, you don't want to be the weak link. So I did a lot of research. I like that. I think that, there's a huge sort of burden of responsibility as part of a cast of retelling something that was so iconic, not to take something extraordinary and do a bad job with it. So a little easier because my character didn't exist, so I wasn't actually playing somebody who was already, portrayed in a real person. So that was a little bit easier for me, but no, it feels, I think, appropriately pressured.
I love getting talked about this guy. So he's a great director.
It shows us more of how much rebellion went into slavery. Like there were people who actually gave their lives and life and limb to not be slaves. There were people who said, by any means necessary, I will be free. That was pretty much, it was a don't take no for an answer attitude. We had to go in, and it looks dated. The story is still extremely impactful and important, but it in itself, the younger you are, the more reluctant you'd be to watch it. So I think that this, and also I believe this one is important because it offers a lot more information about what were we before we were enslaved.
We're making up this recipe, and for some reason it just tastes different. It's because we went out there, and to be in Africa and to be down in Louisiana, it just, the gods are speaking. The spirits are there. So that just added special sauce. Now, for the young people, they identify with film. And television today is done in an epic way like film. So we're giving it to them in that big way that they need it so it can penetrate them.
Being a part of families and the forming of cultures really is forming a culture in, the worst circumstances, but, here we are.
There are a lot of things that are happening now that are directly related to the formation of this country and how we formed. And I think that when we refuse to acknowledge those things, when we continually pretend that there's a line of equalness, that the inalienable rights were there for everyone, we do ourselves a disservice.
Inspired would be an understatement. I've changed so much since being I've met so many amazing people, had so many amazing conversations. I had to do a lot of growing, I had to do a lot of adapting just to keep up with this story, you know. It's been incredible, it's been inspiring. It's actually inspired me to find out my own roots. I actually did a DNA test the other day, and it's just the understanding that Kunta Kinte was empowered by the knowledge of himself and where he comes from. That spoke volumes to me, and so I'm just doing my own digging now.
Thanks, Lane.
No, I haven't had any contacts with anyone from the original cast aside from LeVar. And I don't think the story remains largely the same, but it's a retelling of. And so, you know, if you ask your dad or your mum the story of how they met, they'll tell it to you differently. And it's probably about as differently as that. The character's the same, the result is the same, the narrative's the same, the telling is very different, very fresh, and very much more reflective of a world that's had 40 years of conversation since the first time we told it.
Right, there's a few people outside that want to get in it.